same content creator who questioned where the Black American beauty creators is now extending that same sentiment into a critique of Essence Festival, stating that the space has shifted from a promotion and celebration of Black American heritage to prioritizing optics. And I would argue that has always kind of been the case. But I digress. In doing so, she singles out Caroline A. Wanga, who is the CEO of Essence, and mentions that Caroline migrated to the States at the age of 10. But there's a subtext, right? There's a subtext because in mentioning that, she's indicating that Caroline's diasporic identity somehow disqualifies her from the ability to meaningfully engage with and steward Black American cultural spaces, as though intersectionality doesn't exist. For context, Caroline is 47 years old. She's been in the Black American identity for 37 years. That gotta count for something. But what I'm seeing here as someone who also migrated to the United States at the age of 10 is how deeply unsettling that framing is, primarily because I know that living in the United States as a Black woman, especially as an immigrant, has sharpened the fuck out of my lens. In fact, it has played a huge role in understanding the complexity of what is required to protect, to promote, and to engage with Black American cultural inheritance. It speaks to a very familiar undercurrent, which is something that I've already spoken about since the inception of this discourse, like 2 months ago? And that is this idea that the growing diversity of Blackness across certain spaces constitutes a threat. That equity across digital and cultural platforms for African, Caribbean, and other members of the diaspora creates a sense of displacement amongst Black Americans. It's truly troubling, and it really reveals what I noticed in the previous argument, which is a lack of nuance, a lack of a true understanding of what cultural work entails. And it just, these kinds of narratives risk breeding division and xenophobia, which we're already seeing. We saw since that last conversation, and we're seeing it again. And she's failing to properly monitor and challenge these comments as they arise, which makes me incredibly uncomfortable because she's benefiting from the engagement and the idea that her ideas are being reinforced while maintaining a safe distance under the guise of an open dialogue. Instead of acknowledging that Blackness is not a monolith and that its strength has always been in its complexity, and recognizing the ways in which we can name erasure without flattening other people's identity, such as with Caroline. Because surely, again, 37 years has to count for something. I need her. Okay, my last point, because I don't want to keep this too long. In the case when these kind of conversations arise, I like to pay attention to the source. I did a full audit of her TikTok, went all the way back to 2020, and there's absolutely no evidence of proactively participating in promoting the very culture in which she's claiming to defend, the very community that she's claiming to defend. I gotta look at you sideways, because what that demonstrates is a possessive investment in visibility, not in actual community, not in the promotion of the community and the culture that you claim to be proud of. Not a museum exhibition, not a cultural workshop, not a documentary, not a film. Nothing has been promoted. Now all of a sudden, because it feels like your grasp for cultural capital is out of reach and the spotlight is being redistributed, now you have a voice to speak. Stop it.